Hello, everyone, and welcome back. Today we're looking at a Ready America two-person emergency kit. This is one available here at Walmart, at least in my hometown one. Super Centers, they have a four-person. This is supposed to be good for 3 days for two people. Now, let's just kind of keep things in perspective. Uh, Looking at it or whatever, it's a nice small kit. I'm not going to bash it. It has a 5 year food and water. I don't know how long these things has have sat inside Walmart. So as far as sitting here seeing it's good for 5 years or it's not or whatever, that's always going to be a little subjective as far as how long it's been sitting on a shelf. But I did see this, because we're doing our own kits, and I figured the reason why I really bought this is I'm going to use some of this stuff for me and the family to just kind of practice a little bit. Um, Let the family get a little taste of some of the stuff. Uh, I've done camping in the past. I was in Boy Scouts, and I've had freeze dried food. We've cooked over open fires and everything else. So I've got a little experience as well as being in the military, having to deal with not the funnest situations in that. Although thankfully I was in peacetime, so I didn't have to worry about what a lot of our vets have to worry about. But it's still some of those things of as we do this. The biggest things are yes, we need to practice and go through some of the steps and everything else. One of the things I plan on trying to do here shortly is coming up with a list of scenarios. Some of them are going to be far out there because, you know, some people are planning for the zombie apocalypse. Some are looking for Fallout 3, or essentially Fallout from World War 3, I should say. For me, it's always just been in case we lose power for a couple days. Who knows for what reason? I mean, I'm in Wisconsin. It could be a tornado that comes through. Uh, most likely, we're going to hit a winter storm. Someone's going to go off road, knock out a telephone pole or something like that. That's the easiest ideas to come up with and more likely to happen than anything else. But it is an interesting time that we live in. So, as far as everyone else's concerns, I do understand them. And I think that there is some validation to some of those worries. So, I will never kind of say it's not. But seeing that this is a pre made kit, and one of the things I will say here is there is a little extra room in here. I mean, I can crunch this down. We have a little bit of room on the top. So, as you're looking through this, if this is something you want to pick up, there's room here for you to add your own stuff to it. So as we kind of look through things, I'm gonna pop all this off. Let's look through what this kit is supposed to have. So on the back side here, if I can get this correctly, because I'm all right. So we do have food bars. We have two packs of food bars. We have 12 water pouches, two emergency ponchos, two light sticks, four Neuralite gloves, two dust masks, a small first aid kit, an emergency whistle. We have two survival blankets, some tissue packets, emergency communication plan contacts, and of course the backpack. So, it's a nice starting point. Like a lot of things, these are things that we should go over quite often. And if you find that you need it or you don't need it or whatever, you can either put it in, take it out. Maybe you think about it later. No, I want that back in there. As a parent, it's one of those something I should worry more about than obviously my wife and kids. But my wife is kind of on board with some of this, so she. We talk about it from time to time. Not trying to sound like the crazy people that, holy shishkis, they're getting ready for the next zombie apocalypse and collapse of all government worldwide. But just the simple things. We never really hope or intend to leave the home, but if something does happen, it's nice to have in a kit, or even with a kit like this, if something happened that you lose power or whatever, and it's gone a little longer. we should hopefully have some foodstuffs in here that we can kind of borrow from, hoping that we can replenish, but it's there. So that's the idea. So let's break into this. Let's take a look and see what we've got and see what kind of fun and excitement we can get out of this. Let's get an actual honest to goodness look at it all as I'm trying to break this. These are on here good. Oh my, it almost wants to cut my fingers. And I don't have a pocket knife on me, but I do have my keys, so let's use my good old house key and kind of break it with that, I hope, without bending my house key. All right, so we got one here. We got a second one right here, so we'll try and get that one right away. Oops. Sure, it's probably about ready to break, or at least break enough that I could probably break it, but all right. So now we're good. First and foremost, let's take a look in the small pocket here and see what we have. Now, some of this stuff, if my daughters don't have it already, it's going to kind of get divvied up to them. Signal whistle, for the kids and everything else, that's great. Communications is always key, so if you have some way of communicating with people, it's always a good thing, especially when you're trying to stay together as a group. If you're lost, you need help, those are good things to have. And of course, then we got our emergency ponchos, or survival blankets. So if my kids need them in their own kits, I got them, because I don't remember if I had them or not. Now, this is a very small, basic first aid kit, but you know what? A lot of people are really turning towards tourniquets, and I will say this. If you're not used to using a tourniquet, you don't have the experience, I would stay away from it. The problem is even with a tourniquet, you could, without knowing how to properly handle it, you could do more harm than good. So I believe in just the idea that for the most part, you're going to have the bumps and bruises and stuff like that. As long as we're not getting too crazy, try not to go outside of your comfort zone for what you're trying to do. And hopefully we have a better idea. And then we have our business reply card. So, not too bad for the front pocket. We still have some room in here. So as I put all this in here, we still have room to throw some extra stuff in here. So if you pick this up, you still have some room for whatever other things you feel you need to properly stock it for your specific purposes. Now looking at our main kit, which has probably got all of our foodstuffs and everything else, we do have our two same hospital grade little kind of masks here and some Neurolite gloves, which are good. We do have our ponchos, which I don't think my kids have, so now they have ponchos in theirs. And then the food bars. Now, I don't know what flavor these are, if they even have a flavor outside of, I've never eaten any of these, so that's going to be a fun time. We're going to open these up here at some point, and just it's being done as a experimental pack, and we'll see how it goes. If we bite into them, it's like this is the worst tasting stuff in the world, we'll know. And it's one of those, well, you're hoping for everything else but this, but you at least have this. And being honest, like I said, I've never eaten any of these, and I think it's a great learning experience for all of us. So this one's got a little give in the packet, so I'm thinking that this one should be eaten first. All right, and then we have some tissues. Now this, the remainder is going to be water, I'm sure, because that's the way it was all presented. I'll try and get this out here. Yep, that's all that's left in the pack. Now, as I try to open this with my keys, because I don't have that knife handy. Actually, I should have a knife handy because I have my go bag next to me, but anyways. the difference that I saw between the 2-person and the 4-person is the 4-person looks like they're bigger containers of water, kind of like what you would find for like the soy milks and stuff like that do not need refrigeration or anything else. And these are a little bit more like the juice pouches. But we do have 12 of these, so with a 5-year shelf life, there is good viability with this. And I don't know where the straws are. I'm sure there's a packet with straws down there. But even if for nothing else, if you just have to tear away at this and you have drinking water, that is life-saving for you. So that's what we have in here. Now, I'm not going to open this up today because obviously I don't have the whole family here or whoever wants to participate. But it's a good idea, and I'm not going to force my daughters into doing this. If they want to do this just because it's fun and different and everything else, that's great. But trying to keep the family safe as a parent, the whole thing is you want to be there, you want to keep them calm, and even if we have to try this on our own, me and the wife, or just me, I think the wife's on board with giving it a shot at least. The next time you bite into it, you'll have an idea what you're looking at. And like I said, it could be some of the worst stuff possible. But there again, think about, way back in the 1700s or whatever, they would have hardtack. Even in Civil War, they had hardtack. All that is flour and water made into a paste, like a biscuit. And the sucker was so hard, actually it saved a couple troops because the bullet from a musket's actually hit them, and it kind of cracked it, but it didn't go through. So I mean, they'd have to soak it for a while in coffee in order to being able to actually eat it. So, and of course, we have a couple Chemlite sticks. Sometimes they say that they're good for 4 hours. And they end up lasting for about like 6. Well, this says 12 hours. So who knows? This might even last for 18 or 24 hours. Of course, it degrades after a while, but it gives you that ability. It's just how things go. And like I said, I got this really for something to kind of have fun with the family. We can try it. We have something else that we're going to probably put up next week. I've got a little lantern stove or whatever. We'll try and do that. So I just want a little experience with it, and then kind of run it a little bit so we can see how good or bad or indifferent it is. And hopefully it's good for just people backpacking and wanting to go camping. That is the other thing. I mean, if you're backpacking, even if you have crummy rations like this or whatever, however you want to view them, because I haven't eaten these, so I can't really say if they're that bad or that good. If your camping trip more or less gets rained out and you just don't have a way of really cooking, you at least have something here. I could see a lot of people getting into kind of prepping or looking at prepping stuff for camping ideas. We have water, we have some food. Go and do a minimalist backpacking or whatever. You've got something. You might have a couple planned meals, but like I said, if you get rained out and you can't really do it, then there's the ideas there too. Prepping's not the only answer and only solution. It's a good thing to be prepared in case that bad time comes. That's why we hopefully try and put a couple bucks into a savings account, so that way if you hit that hard time, you have something to fall back on. Although it's not something viable for everyone, it is something that we should hopefully be trying to do. We just kind of go from there. But this is a shorter video today. It is a interesting kit. Like I said, they do have 2 versions of this. There's a 4-person, there's a 2-person. The 2-person, I believe, was $35. The 4-person, I think, is $60. It's a something kit, It's a starting point. It gets you at least a start for trying to be somewhat prepared in case of bad weather. We're not quite there yet. I think there was word of another good snowstorm coming through this next week as I'm filming this. So We really have not had a lot of snow and everything else, so I'm not too concerned. But there again, there are areas where people are having a lot of problems, and having a kit together like this that you can get from Walmart might be a little helpful solution just in case you do lose power and you're kind of snowed in for a few days. It may not be the best living, but it's something. Um, Hopefully, you have enough canned foods and stuff in the freezer or whatever else that you can do okay. Maybe you just kind of cook out on the grill on your patio deck or whatever. But if that's not possible, we do have hopefully something here. So, with that, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for visiting. It's always wonderful having you here. We'll see you in the next video.